one of the things we talk about the hype that the Eagles got going into this game was their pass rush. We talked about how lethal their pass rush, depth-wise, amazing. I think the only team in NFL history to have 4 players with 10-plus sacks on their team. So, like, got a lot of praise, and we talked about the keys to victory for us was going to be the O-line, keeping Patrick safe and clean, and they did that. 0 sacks. That was a shirt they wore during the parade yesterday. 0 sacks. Put it on a shirt, as Orlando Brown said, and we put it on a shirt. And on top of that, something that you said was key all season long to unlocking the next generation of this Chiefs offense was getting the run game going. And looks like the second half of the season, and maybe because of Mahomes' injury, maybe we kind of ignited that running game even more. So we had Pacheco, who dominated. I think his numbers in the game, 15 carries, 76 yards, and then McKinnon's 4 carries, 34 yards.
Yeah.
What were your takeaways from the offensive line play? Obviously amazing, and obviously we're going to have conversations about how much Orlando Brown should get paid based on his postseason, and I think we even got Wiley paid. Maybe not with us, but he's going to get paid because of his performance in the playoffs, particularly in that Super Bowl game. But what was your takeaway from the offensive line when it mattered most in the prime time?
I mean, it did an exceptional job. I mean, we talked about that. That's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to stop the pass rush of the Philadelphia Eagles. And they did that. When we needed them to step up big, they accomplished it. And so they took it on their shoulders. They did. They knew Patrick Mahomes had to be protected this game. If there's anything that you had to do, had to go all the way in on this, it had to be this game right here. And so part of that to slow it down was you had to run the football. And Andy and them adopted that. I think at a certain point, I forgot when we was down. I don't know quite what point in the game, but we were down and we tried to throw the ball. And it's like, why are we doing – like, we don't have to start passing the ball. Run the football. Like, that's what's going to win the game. You got to make sure that you are staying, reliable on the run. You have to do it. And so Pacheco start running, and he started getting yards. He was running hard. Those guys up front was wanting to just mash those guys up front. And that's what they did. They was hitting the defensive end, the defensive tackles, the ends, the linebackers. They was doing such a tremendous job. Like I said, big guys up front want to hit. They want to hit guys. They don't want to sit back and pass rush all the time, and try to stop these dudes. So, man, hats off to them. Hats off to Pacheco, McKinnon, those guys for setting the tone of the game, because that's exactly what it was. When you set the tone of the game with running the football and just being, as physical you want to be, that's what it's all about. I said it. Whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win the game, period. It's all about the trenches. They kept talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, how good their offensive line was, right? They kept talking about it. That's all they kept talking about was how good Philly's line was. I'm like, wait a minute. Kansas City Chiefs had a great offensive line too. That's the reality of it. So while we keep sitting over here, and basically, disrespecting them because of a couple of snafus the guys had, right, through the year. Hey, look, I'm good with the guys that we have. We cool with that. So, hey, man, hats off to the offensive line for doing a great job keeping Patrick Mahomes upright. That was the key to the game.
Yeah. I have a few more questions about the O-line, but we got a question here from our guy, TPT, Chiefs Football Podcast. Thank you for that kind contribution, my friend. So who should be the 3 running backs in Kansas City next year, JD?
I mean, I think, Pacheco for sure, McKinnon for sure. Third guy, I don't know. That's a good question. My thing is, do you still get something out of the best that we have? Is CH a viable guy being here? I'm not sure. I think maybe he has a chance to go out on the market, see what he can do. But maybe his time here is done. I'm just saying this. But then you got, your Gordon, you got Rojo, those guys you have here. And you could get a rookie, but I think you stay with your core guys. I think Rojo, man, kind of, you got to give him a chance, man. You got to give him a shot. I don't think he had.
I think he was only signed a 1-year deal. Though.
1-year deal. I thought he did a 2-year. Okay, just 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then, he may not want to, do that thing again, right? He wants he's like, hey man, I'm out. I'm not being utilized. Let me go somewhere, right? But now, what did help him out because he doesn't have a lot of miles on his legs. He can go somewhere, man, get paid. Sure.
Yeah. I read a stat about Rojo. Actually, he became the first USC Trojan to ever win a Super Bowl in the AFC and the NFC. First USC Trojan never do that.
Really? Okay.
Okay. So the hat's off to Rojo on that one.
Rojo, man. Congratulations, buddy.
I think obviously the running game, and you're right, it was that second half, right? When we came back, our first drive out of halftime, that's when we established the running game again, because we stopped running the ball. And I remember watching the game, like, what the hell, why we stopped running the ball? All of a sudden we came out, and I don't know if it was because of Mahomes had re-aggravated the ankle, where he came out right away, handing the ball off to keep the ball out of his hands, making it more of a balanced approach. And that's what you've been talking about all year. Sometimes we just forget about how that balanced attack and how lethal that can be. And we saw how lethal it can be and once you get it going.
Look, even though we're a superior passing team, no doubt about it, one of the best in the NFL, but you still had to keep defenses honest. And so if you establish a run against a very good pass rushing team, that negates what they can do up front. It really does. And so it just made sense to me. When you're thinking about how do you keep the defense like that, the Eagles defense off balance, running the football. And you got to trust the guys up front. You got to trust the guys you're giving the hand of the ball off to. Look, we understand Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, right? But there's no reason why to do it all on him. There's no reason. It's a team. It's a team game, okay? Let these guys up front and establish the run. Pacheco and McKinnon and them, they are hungry to be a part of what's going on. And so they were. And I'm so glad that they wanted to go to it. I was like, no, don't go there. Don't do it. And he's like, hold on, man. Let's run the football. Let's see what we can get. Worked beautifully. And I'm like, there you go. That's how it works. That's how it works.
One more thing on the O-line. How much do you think, obviously the whole talk about the Eagles pass rush, but how much do you think because I think the offensive line, after Mahomes got hurt in that Jacksonville game, we saw a new, found extra motivation for them. And something that obviously their whole goal is to never let the quarterback get hurt or get injured or get touched at all. But it seemed like we saw a new, different vibe out of those guys after that drive, after Mahomes got hurt in that Jags game and Henny came in. It seemed like even in the Bengals game, we saw a different kind of ferociousness behind those guys. How much do you think the offensive line's kind of run in the playoffs was contributed to that injury that Mahomes suffered in that Jags game?
Great deal. Because you can put it on yourself that maybe, they might have been the reason he was hurt, right? They're not doing their job. And so as a player, offensive line, whatever, if you're blocking guys, you don't want to be the guy to give up the sack or something like that while your quarterback is in that position. And I know they took it upon themselves. And so I would have, immediately, I don't care who it was, the leader on the offense line, whoever it is, Thuney, Orlando Brown Jr., whoever it may be, somebody's like, listen, that right there is beat. Yes, we can't let that happen. That's our quarterback. That's on us. We cannot let him get touched. And I know somebody went in and challenged every single one of these guys. I'm sure the coach came out there and challenged every single one of these guys. And this guy is like, look, we are not going to let this happen on our watch. We can't let it happen on our watch. And so they took it upon themselves. I know they did. That we got to protect Patrick Mahomes. And so when you're talking about reinvigorated as far as what they was trying to do, the motivation, that's what it is. It's like, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the problem. You don't want to be the issue. And so as a unit, you take pride in what you do. You take pride. This is what we get paid to do, man. We're not doing our job. Is that what it is? Are we going to be the ones that's looked at as being, the laughing stock of the Chiefs or why we're not successful? So that was absolutely a key. I think it was probably one of the main factors, if not the factor, why Patrick didn't see any type of, hits like he was seeing, all during the year.
Yeah. My brother's actually coming in here, chiming in here. Mockwer, Bijan Robinson. Yeah. I don't like that at all. I don't think there is a need to go get a first round running back. I love Bijan Robinson. Also, I don't know if you knew this, JD. Bijan, I believe. I think I saw because Bijan's a Persian name. It's a half Persian. I saw that his family actually named him Bijan because they heard it. I forgot where they heard it, but they looked at what Bijan meant. I believe Bijan means warrior in Persian and Farsi. So that's why they named him that, which I thought it's a cool thing. Whenever I see that kind of stuff, I love that.
Yeah. But you don't like the pick? So we're not gonna have the brothers at it. Like, hey man, like, yeah.
I love him.
Huh?
I love the guy. I love him as a player, but I just don't think we need that. There's other things we can spend in the first round.
Yeah, not a first round. We got more needs, more dire needs, no doubt about it. But I mean, he heck of a player. Love to have him, but
yeah. CH wasn't a need either. You're right. We have plenty of time to get in on the draft talk, guys.
Right. There's no needs. Look. I say there's a need. There's needs there. Running back is probably fifth down the list, fifth or sixth.
Far down, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.